All right. Welcome, everyone, again to our Back to the Basics call. Tonight we have Sam Schmidt, who's going to be talking to us about follow-up. And I know it's one of the most asked questions I get. How should I follow up? How often? What can I be doing better to follow up with people? And so Sam is going to answer some of those questions, if not all, for us tonight. So go ahead, Sam.
All right, hey, everybody. Right. And now I'm going to have a little battery, so hopefully we get through this. All right. I just wanted to start with some stats about follow-up. 48% of people never follow up with a potential. 25% only make a second contact. 12% make a third contact, and only 10% of people make a fourth contact with a potential. However, only 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact, but 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So if you're not following up, you are missing the potential for a lot of sales. So follow-up is super important. My follow-up tends to depend on the type of initial contact I had with somebody. If my initial contact with them was just relationship building, my follow-up tends to follow a different pattern than if my initial contact was more of a cold messaging or reaching out about the business or the product. When I'm trying to build a relationship, I'm just trying to reconnect with people. So one of the things I like to do is ask them, and this is typically after somebody accepts a friend request. As the conversation moves along, I like to ask people, how many kids you have, where are you living, and where do you work? Because typically they will ask those questions in return. And that is a great way to open the door for you to share about Plexus, because that's where you work and that's what you do. I also try to watch their Facebook feeds and send them PMs about stuff that they post to continue to get that personal conversation going with them one-on-one. When I'm messaging people about the business or the product, I have discovered that there's typically three reactions. The first is that they're interested. Woohoo, right? Typically in my original message, I have still talked to them about something personal. So I make sure to continue to build that relationship and talk to them about the personal things. This helps me get an idea of their color personality, which will help me dictate how I'm going to talk to them and figure out what language to use with them so that they hear what I'm saying better. I like to ask them what they're interested in Plexus for, if it's a certain product or the business. If somebody's looking for energy, I probably don't want to be talking to them about BioCleanse. Depending on their needs and how the conversation goes, I do like to send people videos about the product or the business. I also will share testimonials or ask to add them to the testimonials page, because as somebody where it's like, there's just too many testimonials for me to choose from. So I asked her if I could add her to the page, and she searched the testimonials on her own. Or I will send a diamond doc to them if it's somebody who is interested in the business end of things. The second response I typically get is, no thanks, not right now, maybe later. If they give me anything personal to go off of, I still, again, go back to that relationship building thing and try to have those one-on-one conversations with them. And I try to take notes. A lot of times people will share something with me that later on I will find a diamond doc or a video or information that pertains to something that they have going on. And so I send that information to them as a great way to reconnect and possibly get them interested in the products or the business. Some people are really short in their responses and they're just like, no thanks. At that time, I typically ask them for a referral. I say, thanks for getting back to me. I really appreciate it. If you ever change your mind, let me know. I would absolutely love to help you. And if you know anybody that could benefit from these products or this business, I would love to help them as well. Feel free to send them my way. Thanks and have a great day. The third response I get is the no response. And I call these people my crickets because they're so quiet, I can hear the crickets chirping. So these people I kind of put on a schedule. I hear a lot about Follow Up Friday. Fridays are a rough day for me. So I typically do a follow-up Wednesday. So everybody that I've contacted this week, Monday through the weekend, next Wednesday, I will reach back out to them if I haven't heard from them. And it's normally pretty short and sweet. Hey, how are you? I know life gets busy. I just wanted to touch base with you. And did you get my message? I try to always end with that question, because ending with a question will hopefully elicit a response. And from there, I can get, the yeah, I'm interested, or the no, thanks, not right now response. But still, people will continue to be crickets. So at the end of the month, I make a list of everybody who has not responded to me, and I call them my cricket list. Instead of my chicken list, I have my cricket list. And about halfway through the next month, around the 15th, typically when we get paid is kind of my reminder that I need to do this, I go back and message these people again. Depending on how I feel about them personally and where I feel their life, or relationship is, I kind of take one of two routes. I either try to connect with them personally to elicit some type of response from them, or I will again say, I will reiterate what I might have said in my first message. Hey, I still really think this is a great opportunity, or I really think this product would work well for you, and I would still love to share with you. Are you interested in learning more? Regardless of what their responses are, I have really been trying to focus on relationship building in my follow-up, because I felt like I just kind of became a Plexus robot, and I wanted to connect with people more. The relationship building is really important because it will help them trust you. You want to build that trust, because medical conditions aren't always easy for people to talk about. So you want them to feel comfortable coming to you. Also, the more I build a relationship with them, the more I will know about them, and the better I will be able to meet their needs. I have put myself on a schedule with my follow-up, because looking back, I realized in the first few months that I was working my business, so many people fell through the cracks because I never followed up with them. And I don't want that to happen. So like I said, I do my follow-up Wednesdays. I make my cricket list and I follow up with them about halfway through the month. I keep a list of people who are not responding to me. I try to actively watch their post to connect with them, either just on their wall or with a private message. If I have people that I'm engaging in an active conversation with, I am writing down their name on my calendar when I'm messaging them, because I want to be touching base with them every 1 to 2 days if they're interested in having those active conversations. For me, it wasn't really hard because I am a super organized person, and I don't know how well you'll see this, but I have my planner, I have my calendar, and I'm a little color-coded freak. So I have, who I'm contacting new, who I'm following up with, who I'm having active conversations with. I'm writing next to their names if they're interested, or if they're not right now, or the date that I follow up with them, so that I can go back in previous months and look through the days, and I can say, okay, I know I followed up with that person. I know that person's not interested and they're on that list. I know some people do a note card system in like a little recipe box, and that works really well for them. So my biggest suggestion is find a system, get yourself organized, and get a plan so that you don't let people fall through the cracks. Megan, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, that was really good. I'm glad that I turned the audio on my computer so I could hear that. No, I think that's really great. And I think it will be really helpful to people, the people that were on this call, and then the people who are going to listen to it, how you broke it down into like, here's how you follow up with these 3 people, the people who say yes, no, or don't respond. So I think that is very helpful. And you're right. And you've got to create a system so that you can continue to follow up. Because I have let so many people fall through the cracks in my almost 2.5 years. And one of those people was, last month I was doing my IPA, still doing it this month. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't followed up with her in like a year. And so I reached back out to her and she was ready to order. So she ordered as the customer, and just today she signed up as an ambassador. And so like if I wouldn't have sat down and, been deliberate about who I'm following up with, she just would have fallen through the cracks and would have missed out on that. So make sure that if you didn't take notes, you listen again and go back and take notes, because there's some valuable information there. So I appreciate your time and sharing your experience and knowledge. And thank you to everyone who got on.